Alright, it is a Friday, 9:26 a.m., September the 17th, and today's watch list I think is about the same, but I do have some new things to watch. I feel like there's a lot of things to watch. ISWH is going to be a morning panic bounce play potential, ideally if it trades with nice volume, and if it does some kind of a breakout past 2, that might be interesting. ILUS is another one, morning panic bounce play. This one already had its breakout here at 20. And, it's just going to be a watch to see what this one does. CYBL is also having this breakout. It's right at its highs. So maybe if it holds green, it could be some kind of a setup. There's just a lot of things to watch. I do have a list on the other side of stocks that could be up, based off news that it had today. So that might be interesting. I do have some other ones on watch for maybe potential breakouts today. I feel like there's a lot of things to watch, but I'll try to narrow it down and focus on what I like the best, which is morning panic bounce plays. If not, I'll just be looking for any of these kind of breakout setups. I honestly don't mind missing some of these. I feel like this is something I'll just get better at over time, but I feel like there's a lot of things to look at today. Alright, it is 9:36 and I want to make an update. I haven't traded anything, but I tried placing an order for CYBL, and my theory would have been a small size $200 position, and I would have been risking green to red, so that would be 185, which seems like a lot to risk. However, with a $200 position, it's not that much. And I could not place an order because I can't trade it on Schwab. That really sucks. I would have been pretty happy if I could have tried, a multi-day LTC breakout setup right after, rewatching chapter 6 of Trading Tickers 1. So we'll see what this one does without me. I guess I should try moving money into another broker, but this is going to be the case for all freaking OTCs and brokers. In just a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 weeks is when that regulation is in effect, or maybe their stuff is already updated and Schwab's just going to be the kind of broker who takes forever to update their lists so it can be tradable. I don't know, but that kind of missed me out of that setup, so that really stinks. Okay, I guess E-Trade doesn't know what to do with the chart. ILUS is having a nice spike, kind of jumpy. I wouldn't have done anything really. In theory, this is something that you should have been in yesterday when it did the original breakout at 20. APRU is nothing interesting. I'm just kidding. This is a nice runner, but the volume is pretty low, so I'll have to take that into consideration. It could be like a dip towards VWAP, but I probably won't be interested in trading it just because of how bad the volume is. ISWH had like a low volume downtrend. I wasn't interested in it. I don't see any stocks that are really nice right now or anything for a morning panic bounce play. I'll make an update later, but I don't see anything that I like right now. Alright, it is 10:19 and CYBL had a nice run up as high as this 21.8 level, and that was after it broke this 207 level. That was pretty impressive. I'm really not happy with Charles Schwab because I wasn't able to trade this stock. Now that could be one or two reasons. Number one, it could be because Charles Schwab has a super old list of OTCs that do not have current filings, and a lot of them now have current filings because they don't want to have that issue where people can't trade them because they don't have this stuff up to date. So now a lot of them got themselves together, and right before the deadline, of course, and the list that Charles Schwab has is just an old list, and a lot of them are not current in that list, so it's not tradable. That really got me out of this trade. I would have been in at this 934 level. Now, where would I have sold? Maybe I would have sold all of it here after the red candle formed here, or maybe I'm still holding on to the position, and I keep in mind that this is a multi-day breakout, and a lot of these can move a lot. Sometimes they move for not just one day in and out, but it can move for several days and be something super profitable. Would I be the type of person to hold that long? No, but in theory, watching Trading Tickers 1 Chapter 6, I probably might have tried considering selling maybe in small pieces and a larger size. It seems very nice to do something like that. So what I did was just move 2,000 to this E-Trade account, and I tried to switch back to a cash account, but to take into consideration that you have to pay commissions with E-Trade. I think it's $6.95 for OTC trading. So for me to switch back to a cash account and pay commissions, and then if it's only a $2,000 account, maybe it's just better if it stays margin. I was on the phone with E-Trade for a while. It seems like it's something you can't do right now online through live chat. It seems like live chat is just not working right now, and I was on the phone for a very long time because I have to talk to I guess what they call a trader, and I was just on the phone for too long, and I thought maybe it's just better to stick with a margin account. So I have a margin account now with 2,000 here on E-Trade, and it's a very small account, but it's gonna let me be able to trade some of these when Charles Schwab doesn't, and I think that will be very good and very helpful. If I break the PDT there, that's gonna suck because I do have to go all in and all out, but that's alright. I just have to keep that in mind. And as for the other ones, oh, that's nice. I wasn't really watching this. Maybe I would have considered a buy here when it breaks this channel. A lot of them do stuff like that in the morning. I just didn't see that one when it happened. TGGI is nothing really interesting in terms of right now, but looking at a daily chart, it could be some kind of a breakout setup in the future, a multi-day breakout setup. ISWH is just not looking nice because it doesn't trade with much volume. I don't see anything else that is really impressive. I might not trade anything today, and that's gonna be too bad for my ego, but at least in theory I would have considered trading CYBL back at 934. Why? Because of that breakout idea at 190. It opened pretty much at that level. It looked like it was going to potentially break the high here at 194. The volume was picking up. It was starting to look nice, and it was putting up like this little higher low, like the bottom of the wicks, right? It was just not down here anymore. It looked like it was trying to hold itself, and more importantly hold this 190 level. So that's why I was considering it, and I would have traded it. When would I have sold? I have no clue, but I would have been a part of it, and I would have at least maybe worst case sold at 201 from this 194 level. That would have been nice. And the top here I think is like 7 or 8% from here. Maybe I would still be holding it. Maybe I'd only have a small position left, but yeah, that really sucks. So at least now with this thing in mind, I can trade stocks that I can't trade with Schwab, like RGBP, which do I really want to trade anymore? No, but at one point, like when it was doing morning panics, it was looking kind of nice. I'm glad I'm able to trade now in theory more stocks because Charles Schwab has that issue, but I'll be ready in the future. I'll keep looking, but if there are no setups, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to do anything dumb here. Alright, this is going to be a 1231 update, and IOUS did do that nice breakout here, and it was just a nice run up. It got as high as this 25 level. I missed it here, and I don't want to chase, and compared to yesterday, that's really what I don't want to do. I don't want to chase anymore, and I want to just try to really think of the big picture setup, and trade maybe larger sizes. So if I'm going to trade a larger size, I'm going to take it more seriously and be more serious in what type of setup I'm interested in. CYBL is continuing right here. It's actually looking very nice, and I've just been watching the price action, really just thinking of what in theory I would be doing in something like this, and it's just holding itself. A perfect hindsight is 2020 example would have been maybe an entry here, but it was under VWAP, and then we have this 201 risk level. Then I could have considered it maybe at 206, 207, and anything past that I think it's just chasing, because now it could just fade if it wanted to the rest of the day or something like that. I have to trade with commission size in mind, so you know, not just the size but the commissions of $6.95 in and out. So I have to trade something larger, and in theory that means, you know, I have to take a trade more seriously, find a better entry point. I have no idea why. I haven't figured this out until now, but you know, I can now switch from one screen to the other. I should be recording the second screen now, and yeah, this is the second screen. I just want to go over this. I have the listed stocks that I'm watching here. This is like the big jumbo list of OTC stocks that are recent, runners that are somewhat nice, and then this is like a really big, huge OTC list of some of them are very old stocks that haven't run in a very long time, and some of them are a bit more recent. And then I have it organized by most trades, so I can see like what's the most popular former OTC runner. This one's like the OTC news, so sometimes Stocks to Trade Breaking News has a list of stocks pre-market, and I put them all here to see if any of them start making moves. We did have this one here that was up like 39% at its highest, but you can see it trades with pretty much no volume. This one is OTC low volume stocks. This is the biggest one out of all of them. No longer something interesting, and these are like the potential breakouts. So I'm just going to make an update probably at the end of the day. I don't think I'm going to trade anything, and just go over and see what exactly happened with CYBL. And let me try to switch back right here. I'll make an update later to see what happens with this one. In theory, I could have been in at this 194, 192 level. Who knows if I'd still be watching? Maybe, because these things that are nice looking multi-day OTC breakouts, and there's like no real resistance anywhere. You know, we go back 5 years, it's still holding itself together. So that's the idea here. You know, maybe I'd still be in the trade. Who knows? I'll make an update later to see what it does. It's midday, so I don't want to trade. I'm going to start doing other things, working on other stuff. I haven't obviously been looking at the markets the entire time, but I have two screens, so I just have this one right here. And I did consider ISWH when it was trying to get towards $2, but it never broke the level, so I never traded it for that reason. Nice run up again with ISWH. That's all I have for right now. Alright, it is 8:05 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. I didn't have any trades, but I think I did have an improvement of mindset. Unfortunately, I was not able to get in CYBL because it's not tradable on Charles Schwab, but fortunately, if something like this happens in the future, even if it never happens, I'll at least have that opportunity to not miss out on a setup, because I have another broker now with E-Trade. And I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing, because I have to pay commissions with OTC trading on E-Trade, but that means I will also take perhaps the setup and the whole trading process more seriously, because if I'm going to have to pay commissions, I'm going to have to trade a large size, something to make up for that. And if I'm going to put in that much of a size into a trade, it better be a good setup, a very good attempt, whether it works or not. If I have to cut losses quickly because it's just not working, or if I get to be in a nice profitable setup, I think it's just going to help me be a better trader. So yeah, that was a setup there. In hindsight, maybe I could have tried again here, but you know, it could have just faded off the rest of the day. And it did fade here and it came back, so that's pretty impressive. It actually closed strong at its highs too. I did not see this until later, but ISWH eventually did break $2, and it actually played off of it. It was a nice, what is this, a 20% move from $2, so that's pretty impressive there. I should have had alerts, and maybe what I can do next week is to at least, like, some kind of homework, at least make an alert every day, to see if something like this happens in the future. You know, we go back 5 years, it's still holding itself together. So that's the idea here. You know, maybe I'd still be in the trade. Who knows? I'll make an update later to see what it does. It's midday, so I don't want to trade. I'm just going to so that I can potentially be in some kind of setup like this. It looks like the breakout was at 144 and it worked. You know what, you gotta hold through this. If it breaks and goes green to red, that's when you cut the trade. But this one actually successfully did it. It failed here, but it actually did it here. That's pretty impressive. Unfortunately, I missed it, but it can be a good reminder to have more alerts. I do have some alerts. I didn't include this one. And TGGI also did something similar too. It broke this, what is this, 88 level. If you want to count the top, it's 87. I would say 86. Let's see how it reacted there. Alright, it did it around here. It looks like just a little later than the other one, ISWH. This one was a bit later, but if I had an alert for this, maybe I would have been a part of it. This one is right at its highs. It did break this level, but in terms of this level, it's right at its high, so this one might be a little harder to trade. There was one I was watching, but I didn't like it that much, and it looks like it failed. This is one that actually failed to break the highs right here when it was in the 1240s. So this one, again, just didn't really work here. It's kind of a weird one because you don't know the exact level. Is it based off of here, or if you look at it daily, is it here, or maybe it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as clean as the other one, right? So that's the case with that. I'm not sure why this is happening, why they're all reloading like that, but that's all I got. No trades, but at least I don't have that excuse where I can't trade a certain stock because of Charles Schwab not allowing it. I can at least trade with E-Trade. I'm going to have to trade something large, and I should be more alert in terms of these breakouts that happen, throughout the day. Like ISWH was something I was totally interested in, and it's nice to see that the volume also picked up too when it did it. It wasn't just some sketchy low volume uptrend. I mean, the volume's still low, but it wasn't as low as it was back here. Very nice, as well as TGGI. Missed 2 setups, 3 setups. One of them I tried, but I wasn't able to get executed. But I think in the future I'll just be better from this. Great experience. I'm thankful for God for it, and yeah, God willing, I'll be able to do better next week.